it's Sunday, April the 17th. This is the WIKISPEED stand-up. So I'll go straight into the stand-up. I'm going to go in the order that I see you on Zoom. So Michael first.
Okay, it's Michael Olchik, Saskatoon, Canada. This past week, I didn't get anything else done in the book. I went through some of the process for loading the drivers on the Sunfounder car, and I don't see what I did wrong. I have Python complaining about no locale. It wants to copy some files into a directory called locale, and I'm having trouble finding out what I need to do there. So I'm going to basically go back and start from scratch. I'm going to take out this SD card and just load everything in again because I'd have a heck of a time trying to reproduce what I did anyway. And for next week, that's what I'm planning to do. And I'd like to talk to you guys a little bit about what to do, or what is a small enough chunk that I could bite off on the editing of the book. And I have no blocks. That's about it.
Okay, I'm going clockwise. Kirill?
Yeah, so this week I finished my project at work, so now I have some availability. I didn't have chance to work on the book, but starting tomorrow, I'm planning to go back to where I was, which was putting a kind of a summary for every chapter and trying to make the whole book flow, like make sure that we don't define terms somewhere in the middle, and, or use terms somewhere before they were defined, etc. So I'll continue with that task.
Any blocks?
No.
Okay, Jubin, I got that pronunciation right?
Yes, correct, Lon. Thank you. Yeah, I'm back after a few weeks. However, I've not been able to focus much, and my blocks are my personal challenges, so I might not be able to do anything for the next 2 or 3 weeks to continue with the review of the book. Thanks.
Okay. This is Lauren Salter, Gabriel Island, British Columbia, Canada. And the past week, I just did a little bit of shopping on AliExpress. And so in Crosstalk, I'll have some reporting back about that for the level sensor. The coming week, then I'm hoping to get the parts ordered and also get the fitting from the hardware store. And blocks for me are going to town. I'm going to Vancouver this week. And I'm also still working on my taxes and other financial things. So that's it for me. So go to Michael for retro.
I guess I have to unmute first. I am going to give myself a 4, I guess. I didn't get done anything that I was intending to do. I did review some of what I have done in the past, so I'm hoping to get a little bit further this week. For the team, I'm going to go with a 10 because there's 4 of us here, and we're going to make some progress. Woohoo! And I do not have a process improvement.
Okay, Carol.
Yeah, I would give myself 2 just for showing up to this meeting. And yeah, for the team, let's give it 10.
Okay, any process improvement?
No, not for now.
Okay. Jubin.
I will give myself a 1 and the team a 10. Unfortunately, I may not been able to do much, so that's why it's a conservative one.
Okay. I think it's two, Jubin, for showing up.
Okay, then two. But yeah, showing up after a long time. So anyway, but yeah, I'll
Uh,
give 10 to the team because we've still been together for a while and trying
I'm
to get these things done.
yeah, I'm going for a 4 for me, 10 for the team. I looked at Mural. Now I just remembered that I looked at Mural, so I can talk about that in crosstalk too. Um, and so I actually might bump myself to a 5 for looking at Mural. Anyway, process improvement. It might be related to Mural. I haven't got to play with it enough yet, though. So that's it for me. And so now the optional crosstalk. Uh, I wanted to, yeah. I wanted to talk about a couple of things. Is there anyone else who has things? It's like Mike, why don't you go first with your?
Sure. So, how have you guys been doing the editing? Is it by the chapter? Is that how you guys have kind of split it up? And once you do a chapter, do you continue on to like the next chapter, or do you review comments that somebody else did in a different chapter? Or I'm struggling to figure out where to start.
Yeah, we tried to do that in the beginning. I found myself spinning my wheels on the first chapters though all the time. By the time I review something, by the time I review a chapter, somebody else would go and add more changes, so I would just go back. So I didn't find this very useful. Um, my recommendation would be just pick a chapter, any chapter, and work on that, and then maybe share on the Discord which chapter you added changes to, so somebody else can go and accept your changes. Uh, yeah, don't. I would say don't start from the beginning. It's so discouraging.
Okay. And the kind of like the methodology we're using with bolding and capitalization and stuff, that's on the Miro board, right?
Yes, I'm trying to find where exactly we describe this. So
I
we
just
said
opened up Miro and it didn't bring up the WIKISPEED, so I'm going to try and find a link.
I can send you the link. So
Oh, I got
yes,
it.
we said all the Scrum terms will be
Hmm.
italicized. I don't know of any other typographical agreements that we made. So
Okay,
just
and when you're describing the terms, you define them to begin with. I saw that in a couple of places, right?
yeah, that's the idea.
Okay.
Joe's idea was that people who read this book can start from scratch. They don't need to have any prior knowledge. So make sure
Ah,
that all the terms that we're using, we define them first.
okay. And I remember a discussion about doing little blue boxes. I think William was talking about blue boxes for the dopamine and the endorphins and all the other brain chemical stuff. Is that still what you guys are doing?
I think that's the idea. I don't know how to do blue boxes in Google Docs though. Google Docs is kind of limited in styling and editing options.
Can
Uh,
we maybe make it into like take it into another document, like put it into Word, write it,
yeah,
and then just import it as a picture?
ported back. That might be an option. Yes. Yeah. So that's the idea to
Okay.
have these boxes. I just don't know how to do it in Google Docs.
So what
Okay.
blue boxes are we talking about? Sorry.
So if I don't know if you've read any textbooks where they kind of go off on a tangent, and it's not really related to the book, but you'll be reading through a book, and then in the margin you'll see like a blue box, and the blue box has some. It's kind of like a tangent almost, and they explain, okay, well, we mentioned it, but here's this other cool thing if you want to go and look it up.
So is it in the center of the book or is it
It's
to
it's
the?
kind of it's kind of off to one side. If you think about a magazine, it'll be like the lower half of one page, So
Right.
if you're reading the text, you read down and then you just skip across to the next page. Or sometimes it's actually like a quarter page size.
Yeah. I mean, we can make a table, right, and like format it the way we want. So if we bring in
Oh,
images, it's difficult to kind of edit it later on, and then we'll have to
okay.
keep.
So you think we can do that in Google Docs, setting up
Right.
the table?
We
Yeah, I
can do
think so.
Oh,
things.
okay,
Yes.
good.
Yeah, and we can have two tables if we want to place it somewhere. Have one with a transparent border and with multiple cells, and if you want to bring it content to the right, have another table with a border color.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah, we can do that visually.
okay. If you guys want to take care of that, I will just mark the stuff in blue, and then we can come back to it. And whatever format ends up working, then we can deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kirill, do you want me to show you or you got it?
I think I got the idea. Let me
Yeah.
play a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
If I
Yeah,
need
just
help,
let's
I'll.
work with a blue color border for now and then I can show you later on. This week I might not have time.
Yeah.
So if you want we can sync up one on one like we did last time. Yeah, thanks.
Absolutely.
Excellent. So that was pretty much it. You want to keep recording, Lauren, or do you want to stop before you talk?
I could keep recording.
Sure.
I was going to share my screen and show you the pages on AliExpress that I was looking at.
Okay.
So the ESP32s are close around $5 each
Oh, okay,
on
that's pretty good.
AliExpress with pretty cheap. This is Canadian,
Mhm.
pretty cheap delivery. So
So the problem is the lidar, or the problem is the boxes?
the lidars are around $30.
Yeah, well, that's probably what I paid. So
Yeah. Okay.
so Carol Jubin, this is a sensor to check out the level in a tank. You put it on the top of a tank, and it bounces a signal off the level of the water or whatever you're measuring, and then it connects up to your phone and kind of types it as if it's a Bluetooth keyboard. So it was easier than coming up with an app of my own that I have to upgrade every time Google or Apple releases a new operating system.
Yes.
So this is what we got, and I've seen it as low as 28, but then you have to look at the vendor to how good they are at.
So you had trouble with the connector, right? Like you were soldering onto the little tiny wires on the connector, right?
Yeah. I mean, it works now, right? So
Okay. So is the one that you've got in the middle of the screen, is that one solder pads, or is that a 90-degree
don't know.
fine connector? Okay.
Don't know. Let's take a look.
Whichever one you choose, you should make it as easy for yourself to solder onto, or whatever it is you need to do, right?
It's not showing any cable. They sell the cables separate.
Okay.
So then I don't know how that actually I don't like soldering wires. So this one has very tiny connectors, so that wouldn't be too much fun either. So I don't know, but it looks like you have to buy the cables. So let me see.
Okay. Well, the one that I got. Bring it over.
Yeah. Okay. I'll stop sharing here so we can see.
Actually, why don't I try and connect up this thing? Okay.
And are you guys planning to use that for like a fuel tank for the
It's
red wagon?
so that's
No.
the little connector on the bottom.
Yeah.
So those wires, I soldered the I doesn't want to do it. A moment.
Oh.
It's too fuzzy. So
Oh, you
I got to
soldered
turn
them.
the fuzz.
So
I
you
got to
soldered
turn
them
the.
straight on to the.
I just jumped. I crimped on the. I gotta change something here in the fuzz filter background.
Yeah, turn off the fuzz.
There we go. Okay, so the pins, I cut the pins off that they had, and I soldered, or I crimped on the connectors that fit directly onto the pins of the ESP32,
Cool.
and then you got the little plastic shrouds on them so that they don't short out. But you were going to solder directly to the ESP32 board, weren't you? You weren't going to do pins, right?
I don't know if is that. Do you think the crimping is easier?
Well, this was easier for me at the time, and I didn't have any trouble with the wires bending back and forth and then breaking off.
Right.
That's kind of why I did it. But I mean, having a slide-on connector isn't exactly your most permanent connection, right? It's great for troubleshooting. It's great for prototyping, but it's not so great for doing permanent stuff. So.
Right. Yeah. So I probably I don't have those crimps. I do have solder, so I'll probably
okay.
And I have one that works. So as long as I get the
my guess is getting the cable that comes with it, so you don't have to fiddle with that.
I'm getting the cable.
And then just,
yeah. From what I'm
solder
looking
directly
at that,
to the ESP32.
Yep.
Okay.
That's cool. That's great. So to answer your question, Carol, we're thinking of this as a obstacle avoidance distance finder for the wagon. The business of we're calling it the tank level because we both have types of tanks. I have a water tank, a cistern, that it would be nice to know how full they were, and
right.
It's a very useful product where I live because everybody has cisterns, wells, cisterns, or has water delivered.
Right.
Or rainwater collection.
I see.
But strangely, very strangely, like Michael wouldn't. I think we lost Michael there for a second. Anyway, Michael didn't. Hey, Michael. We can see you. You're muted.
Hit the wrong button.
Yeah.
And it tells
anyway,
me.
I was saying that you wouldn't believe, or we didn't believe that there wasn't some already existing solution to look at the level in the tank. But the tanks are opaque because the water, they can't have UV in the water or something that contaminates the water. And in commercial applications, almost all tanks have a level thing on them.
Yeah.
But in these home tanks, they don't. Anyways, it seems like a useful thing. That's why I'm getting a bunch more because I want to build up my soldering and building skills, and also see if anybody here else here wants them. And anyways, that's kind of the point of that. But the use of it, the real use of it that we want is to mount it on the wagon as an obstacle avoidance. And it's just way ahead of the IR. I have both. I got the infrared, and I had some problems with that one. But in the process of learning about the LiDAR, I found out I was not shoving the pins deep enough into the breadboard. And actually, I had a question for you, Michael.
Mm-hmm.
So you dispense with the breadboard altogether in your solution with the crimping straight into the. Yeah.
I can show you the original.
Right.
That's what I did to begin with, and the pins that I connected to are these. Oops. So I had them jumpered from the various, various wires from the pins on the ESP32 just to this header, and then I plugged the those pins in there. So that was the first version. Actually, that was about the 7th version because I originally started out with an Arduino, and I couldn't get Bluetooth working on the Arduino.
Cool. Anyway, so all that pioneering work you did is paid off, because I've got a working lidar now,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm much more confident about it. And so if I don't have to fiddle with the breadboard, because my problems were all to do with the breadboard, that I didn't understand that you almost have to stand on and push down the ESP32 into the breadboard. Like I had it like halfway down, and I didn't understand. I talk about stand on it because back in the day when I used to put computer memory in, that's how we talked about it. It was a delicate part, but you had to almost stand on it to get it to go into the computer. And likewise with the breadboard, the parts push way far into them. And then also they're tiny, and I just had some that were in orphan positions where they weren't connecting. So that, but it is handy for until you get one working.
Mm-hmm.
And it's much better to make mistakes with this rather than be soldering or desoldering or fiddling around
yes.
with crimping.
Having a
crimping is
connector
kinda
is happy.
Yeah, the crimping is so is it fairly convenient to pull off the crimp things and put them on again, or is there problems?
You use needle nose pliers in order to get down dexterous enough and with a good enough grip. If you just pull on the wire, it pulls out. So you have to
Yeah,
use
right. Yeah, that was
little
my
pliers.
impression. That was my impression. So almost like I might use the breadboard again on my, if there's some little difference on the new ones, but if they're exactly the same, then I would feel confident to just go ahead and solder it in.
Okay.
And then I can always desolder if there's a problem. So,
Okay.
yeah, and that's kind of it. The ESP32s, though, like I said, they're about $5 or $6, so they're not the problem. But the cost of the thing is in the lidar,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't remember what the IR cost. I think it was still around $20 or something. The infrared,
15, 20, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, right, and it's so much less capable.
Yep.
That it's not worth it. So, yeah.
Oh, and the guy that did the tutorial for the Raspberry Pi remote control truck, he just released another video where he uses an Arduino as a slave. So we will be able to get the Raspberry Pi and ROS connected up to an Arduino. I haven't watched the whole video yet, but he is progressing. I think I might reach out to him and see if he has any updates for his videos, because you can't get the servo driver that he used originally. So maybe he can do an update.
Sounds good. I think they're looking for a different word than master and slave.
Yes, I believe client and server is the current.
Client and server.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, yeah, that's all for me. Good to see you all.
All right, guys, are we done?
Yeah,
Anybody?
just a quick note. In the research for Miro versus Mural.
Oh yeah, that was the other thing I forgot.
Yeah, I just happened this week to use something called InVision, and it seems like kind of a good competitor. I'll post that into the Discord, so that you have the link. Again, the starting package is free. The next one is $4 per month. But yeah, I think it's doing similar job to the other boards.
Awesome. So that
100 active users. Wow.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
But again, it has only 3 free hands, so I guess every user can create only three boards. So that's pretty limiting, but I think we can manage.
So you can create 3 or you can access 3.
I don't know.
I guess that's something we have to check.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and also check if there is some level where you get more boards or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Good. I'll check those out. Hopefully in the next week or two.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Good talking. See you next week.
Yep.
See you. Thank you very much. Bye,
Bye for
guys.
now.
Bye, everyone. See you. Good
Bye.
night. Bye.
Oh, I gotta wait. I have to
Okay.
stop recording.
All right. Bye, Lon. Good night.
Bye. Bye.